The world of Horrid Henry was a vibrant tapestry of chaos and routine, a perpetual motion machine of mischief and exasperation. To the casual observer, it was merely a cartoon, a slice of exaggerated childhood antics, but beneath that brightly colored veneer, a subtle, almost imperceptible hum resonated, a dissonance that only those who turned to its specific frequency could detect. It hummed in the very names of its inhabitants, names that were too perfect, too on the nose, to be merely coincidental. Henry, for instance, often found himself staring at the stark of white ceiling of his bedroom late at night, the familiar tang of his own peculiar brand of mischief clinging to him like second skin. He was horrid. It wasn't a choice. Not really. It was an instinct, a primal urge to disrupt, to defy, to turn the world upside down. He tried once or twice to be good, to confirm the effort felt like he was trying to breathe underwater. His very close cells seemed to rebel, demanding disarray. And then there was Peter, his brother, the embodiment of his saccharine perfection. Peter, who never wrinkled his clothes, never spilled his juice, never uttered a cross word. Peter, whose very existence it was constant, infuriating counterpart to Henry's own. Perfect Peter, Henry would mutter into his pillow, the word's bitter mantra. Moody Margaret, rude Ralph, sour Simon, even Miss Battleaxe. It was as if their names weren't just labels, but destinies etched into their very being from the moment they were drew beneath. On a rainy Tuesday, a day so dreary that it seemed to be the bleed of the color from the world, Henry was banished to the attic, at least latest transgression, turning the family dog pink with bubblegum-flavored dye hair, and had finally pushed Mom and Dad to the brink. The attic was dusty mausoleum of forgotten things, a place where memories festered like old jam. While rummaging through a trunk filled with musty relics of his parents' youth, Henry stumbles upon an old leather-bound journal. It wasn't Mom's flowery diary, nor Dad's cryptic work notes. This was different. Its pages, brittle with age, were filled with spidery, almost illegible script, interspersed with the strange symbols and diagrams. The journal belonged to his great-grandmother, a woman rarely spoken of, whispered only about hushed tones by his parents as anarchistic or prone to peculiar notions. As Henry squinted through the gloom, depicturing the fading ink, a chill colder than the attic air began to seep into his bones. The journal spoke of the great ascension, a ritual performed in a long time past, a time when the world was volatile and unpredictable, and gripped by the epidemic of its extensional aimlessness. Society, the journal claimed, was crumbling, its citizens lacking purpose, direction, or a distant identity. Two combat skills and a Candlestone collective, known as the archetypes of being, devised in a radical solution. If they could imbue each new life in a singular defining trait, a core personality concept, made manifest through their very name. The name, the journal read, as it follows, suddenly glowing with a terrible, persistent light in the Henry's mind. It's not just a descriptor, but a seed planted at birth, tendered it by the environment. It blossoms into the individual's destined character. Stability, they argue, can only be achieved through the controlled chaos, structured, ordered, and designating deviance. Henry stared, wide-eyed, at the terrifying implications. Their world wasn't natural. It was engineered. Their lives weren't organic. They were meticulously convoluted. Henry, the journal detected an entire chilling message to his archetype, the horrid. It stated its necessary catalysts and disruptive force, the constant challenge to establish order, preventing stagnation. Without the horrid and the perfect would become incomplacement, with the moody would lack reason to brood, and the battle axes would have no purpose in their vigilance. The Horrid maintains a dynamic equilibrium and controlled explosion of the nonconformity. His very existence is a testament to the system's resistance. Pressure valve for all collective ID. Henry felt a strange mix of horror and vindication. His horridness wasn't a flaw, it was a function. He was designated antagonist, the one designed to cause trouble so others would react. Could they prove their perfectness or their moodiness or their rudeness against him? Then came the entry for Perfect Peter, the perfect one, the journal explained. It is the template, the ideal, the beacon of attainable conformity, designed to inspire and yet, paradoxically, to highlight the very necessity of the horrid. The perfect one shows what is possible within the social framework, providing the constant, unyielding standard against which all the deviation is measured. Their calm is the counterpart to the horrid storm. Their complements was the bedrock upon which was controlled chaos can unfold. They were a fixed point in the carefully orchestrated maelstrom. It made a twisted kind of sense. Peter wasn't just good, he was perfect. Flawlessly, infuriating, unrelentingly perfect. He was trying. He simply was. He was the yardstick, and Henry was the wild, sprawling measurement that proved the yardstick's necessity. Moody Margaret was next. Her entry was fascinating. The moody, it position, represents the structure of position, not a disruptor like Horrid, but a counterforce of the pre-programmed negativity and competitive spirit. She exists as the channel of collective frustration to provide an intangible rival for the Horrid, preventing its destructive energy from becoming too diffuse or overwhelming. Her moodiness is a focused, predictable storm, allowing for controlled conflict and the development of coping mechanisms within the social unit. So Margaret wasn't just grumpy neighbor, she was Henry's designated sparring partner, a necessary friction to keep them engaged, and his horridness contained within imaginable bounds. Her moods were not random, they were collaborated. Henry flipped through more pages, his heart thumping like a drum solo. Rude Ralph, Sour Susan, Greedy Graham, Brainy Brian, Weepy William, Stuck-up Steve. The journal lumped through together. The archetypes of exaggeration. Each represents a singular amplified human trait. The ancient scripts revealed. They are the living calculates, designed to embody the facet of a human nature. Ability to ill-manneredness, negativity, avarice, intelligence, hypersensitivity, or ignorance. Their function is twofold, to offer highly different interactions for the horrid and the perfect archetypes, and serve them cautionary or experimental examples for the general populace. Their exaggerated traits made them easily identifiable. Their roles clear, they simply complex the tapestry of human interaction into digestible, predictable patterns. Ralph's rudeness wasn't a learned behavior, it was the fundamental operating system. Susan's sourness was her factory setting. Graham's hunger for all things was edible, wasn't a habit. It was his very essence. They were walking, talking, simplified lessons for human foibles, or in Brian's case, human potential. Miss Battleaxe, her entry was short, sharp and chilling precise. The battle-axe, it declared, is the enforcer, the immovable object against the irresistible force. She is the bulwark against the chaos, the living embodiment of rules and consequences. Her name, a clear declaration of her nature, ensures that her authority is never questioned. Her resolve never wavers. She is a necessity check on the horrid's destructive impulses, maintaining the boundaries of engineered world. She wasn't just a tough teacher, she was an unyielding wall, built by the architects to contain the chaos Henry was designed to unleash. Her name is very a weapon, a testament to the unshakable will. Henry's parents, Mum and Dad, received more mundane, yet no less unsettling explanation. The parent units, the journal stated, are the collaborators. Their names are often generic and lacking overt descriptors of their offspring, signify their rules as the normal baseline. They are a reacting force to those who embodied and collective exasperation, the wary patience, the occasional triumph or defeat in the face of assigned archetypes. The primary function is to provide the domestic environment in which the children's assigned traits can flourish and interact, ensuring a continuous cycle of cause and effect within the household unit. They are the audience and the intermediate consequence. They aren't the unique individuals as much as they were parental units, reactors, norm settlers. Their names, plain and common, were perhaps a mask of their deeper, more functional role in the system. They were ground against it which named seeds were planted. The journal delved deeper, hinting that this great assignation wasn't a one-time event, but an ongoing process, woven into the very fabric of their reality. Children weren't born with personalities, they were born with a blank slate, and the precise unremembered moment the assignment would take place, branding them with their destined name and imbuing them with the corresponding traits. The architects, the journal hinted, they were not benevolent gods, but rather a cosmic engineers seeking ultimate stability, a perfectly predictable society where every cog performed its designed function. Henry closed the journal. The dust motes nights dancing in the single shaft of the light filtering through a grimy window, looking less like innocent particles and more infinitesimal, watchful eyes. The attic, once a place of mundane punishment, now felt like an archetype of terrible truth. His horridness, his innate desire to defy, to push boundaries, and to dismantle order. It wasn't his fault. It was his purpose. His very name was a brand, a blueprint. He wasn't Horrid Henry by chance. He was Horrid Henry by design. A peculiar calm settled over him, replacing the familiar surges of indignation and mischief. He was cog, yes, but a vital one, a destructive cog, the one that kept the machine from seizing up, and Peter, with his sickeningly perfect nature, was perfectly engineered imposing force. Margaret, the calculated rival, Ralph, the rudeness personifies, Miss Battleaxe, the unyielding wall. The world outside the attic and the world had always been precise, as the chaotic and random now seemed terrifying destructive. A grand innerate play where everyone had pre-assigned role. Their names were serving as their costume and their script. Henry slowly descended to the attic stairs, an adjacent journal clutched in his hand. His parents were still in the living room, Mom sighing over a stain on the carpet, Dad grumbling about the rising cost of bubblegum-flavored hair dye remover. They all looked so normal, so oblivious, caught in their roles as parent units. He didn't know what to think with this knowledge. Could he tell anyone? Would they even understand? Or would the system simply recalibrate, perhaps assigning him to a new, more complex plain trait, a new forgettable name? No, he felt a surge of something primal, something deeper more than mischief, a flicker of rebellion, born not of childish pique, but a profound existential defiance. If his horridness was a design, then perhaps it was the greatest act of horridness would be to embrace it, not as programming, but as a choice. To be Henry, yes, but to be Horrid Henry on his own terms, to push the boundaries of his assignment archetype, to be the chaos that the architects hadn't quite accounted for. As he walked past the kitchen, he saw Peter humming a cheerful tune, diligently polishing his already gleaming shoes. Perfect Peter, Henry thought, a new glint in his eyes. Just wait tonight. The horrid one is going to invent a new kind of perfect mess. The world didn't change with the revelation. The sun still rose, The birds still sang, and Henry still found new ways to terrify his parents and torment his brother. But for Horrid Henry, a secret layer had been peeled back. He knew that his name wasn't just his name. It was a name of his destiny, a label etched by unseen hands, and perhaps, just perhaps, knowing the rules of the game was the first step to truly breaking them. After all, what could be more horrid than defying your own predetermined horridness? The hum of engineered world continued, but now Henry heard a faint, disoriented note, a tiny crack in the perfect facade, and it was glorious.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.